Wokeness is a problem, and we all know it. I don't want to make fun of James Carville because it's just not the nice thing to do. It's not nice to do that. But I must admit, after reading this interview in Vox with James Carville, where he says that wokeness is a problem, which I'm glad he's pointing that out, but he's not pointing out the full picture. He's not pointing out the full picture. And that's why this interview really infuriated me when I read it. And for anybody who actually reads it from beginning to end, this is a very good one. This one is really worth taking the time to make a video about, even though other people have made videos about it, which is why I want to make this video, because there's so many things that other channels, professional channels, have not captured about this interview. This interview shows you how the political sausage is made, pretty much. By the way, for anyone not familiar with James Carville, he is a legendary Democrat political strategist who actually helped Bill Clinton become president back in 1992. And he's most famously known for one of his sayings, "It's the economy, stupid!" And that's the play on words in the title of the video. And James Carville, whether he's losing it or he's just a shameless opportunist, he explains in this very interview how to basically just win elections, because that's all they seem to care about. All they care about is winning. They don't care about solving problems. And spare me the bull crap that you solve problems by winning. Because if that were true, healthcare would not be so abusively overpriced for middle-class American workers ever since the Affordable Care Act, when Obama was president for 2 terms. But I'll save that for another video. And it seems like they do not care how bad their ideas are, and they don't care how demonstrably false the narratives may be. Just go ahead, write those op-eds. Again, I don't want to make fun, especially a white Southern. It's okay to make fun of a white Southern accent nowadays. And especially since I'm a Latino. Soy un Latino que sabe hablar el español también. Y soy inmigrante. O sea, I came here as a baby, but my parents came from Cuba. The rest of my family did too. I've seen on other shows, other younger political strategists talk about the problem with the Latinos and how this is what we need to do with the Latinos, and because they don't seem to understand why Latinos, which I would think the more accurate term is Hispanics, but whatever. The problem is that many Hispanics, especially the ones that are fleeing socialist nightmares like in Cuba and Venezuela, we already know. We know the crap sandwiches that you guys are trying to push, which you're doing now, which Biden is doing now, with another $4 trillion stimulus package. Does money mean anything anymore? And it's really troubling. And when you read this article, you see how the sausage is made. By the way, this drawing that I'm doing of him, look, I really wanted to be respectful at first. At first, I kind of tried to draw one of the very picture that they used in the article. But look, for anybody who's into drawing portraits or caricatures and stuff, here's a little word of advice. You have to decide straight away, is this going to be realistic or is this going to be a caricature? Because if you try to figure it out halfway through, you end up getting like this. The very first drawing was pretty bad. It looks like he's got like, some sort of neurofibromatosis in the chin. Like he's almost becoming the Elephant Man, and it just doesn't really work. It's kind of realistic and kind of not. So then for the second one, I was like, you know what, let me give it another try, because I'm working on my portraiture. That's one of my hobbies. I love drawing faces. And I started looking for better references, because that's another thing, by the way. If sometimes it's the reference. Just pick a good picture. And then I found this one of James Carville being compared to Gollum. And I was like, look, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to try to make him look like Gollum. But I like the screaming picture. I was like, this is a lot more interesting. And then the more that I was trying to inform myself as I was doing the drawings, because one of my things that I love to do is as I'm doing the drawings, I'm trying to listen to other interviews and stuff like that. I was just getting more and more angry. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to draw fangs on him. And I'm going to give him like these pointy ears. And then I was like, wait a second. He's starting to look like that character, that old character who I thought was Dracula. But no, it was this character called Nosferatu. And I was like, should I make him look like him? And then I was at this point in the drawing, I was like, you know what the hell with it, dude? Whatever it looks like, it looks like. And in the end, since I did it on a green piece of paper, he kind of almost looks like Shrek, but whatever. Look, by the way, this is not about making fun of James Carville's looks. I'm no looker either, okay? I'm a baldy too, okay, with a little liver spot on my head. And I'm well aware of the fact that I look like a cross between Uncle Fester and Lurch from the Addams Family. So what I'm more interested, to be honest, is to call out the shameless opportunism that people like James Carville seem to represent. And I want to be careful with what I say because the last thing I want is some libel suit to be slapped on me. I already had one of my other videos taken down on my other channel where I critiqued Biden and Harris, and that's what's worrisome. Again, that's the real problem. And that's not the real problem that the Democrat Party has. That's a problem that this country has. And that's why I titled this video, it's not just the wokeness, stupid, when it comes to the problems the Democrat Party not only has, but they seem to be creating. And it's not just the faculty lounge politics, though that's an issue. And I'm glad to see James Carville is calling out the insufferably smug, pseudo-intellectual vanity so many people within the Democrat Party, the establishment, the news media, everybody who's on that overall tribe, how they seem to look at the rest of the United States. And it's not just that people don't want to talk about race or racial injustice. It's that people are tired of hearing the demonstrably false narratives and being accused of racism when they call them out. And worse yet, losing their jobs or their livelihoods over it. And the demonstrably false narrative that I'm talking about is that unarmed black men are being systematically targeted by racist police officers for execution. And there are enough people in this country that actually think that that is what is happening, and it is not. And people are needlessly dying over this. And the actual numbers, the actual data, just deconstructs that dangerously false narrative. Less than 24 unarmed black men were killed by police in 2019. That's one too many, but the point is, it's less than 24, and almost twice the amount of unarmed white people were killed by police. And the media did not make a big deal about it. And then to top that off, how many cops actually die on the job every year? Over 100. Again, media doesn't cover that. Or not all of the media, especially publications like Vox, they're not going to cover that. And sorry to have to keep bringing this up, but it's necessary. It's so necessary. Well over 2,000 Black Americans are killed every year by other Black Americans. Don't want to cover that. We are needlessly at each other's throats thanks to lies by political strategists that all they care about is winning, and publications that are all they care about is the advertising dollars they get when they promote those lies. Shame on you. And this is where it's so obvious it's not about solving problems and making everything equitable, let alone better for the country. It's about winning elections, because to the victor go the spoils. And there is so much money to be made from winning elections that it's no wonder political strategists are so shamelessly opportunistic. And whether it's the James Carvilles for the Democrats or the Karl Roves for the Republicans, they don't care about the consequences as long as them and their candidates rake in the money. And James Carville even says it in the interview. He says, if Democrats want power, that's what this whole damn thing's about. I mean, he's literally telling you, he's literally showing you, look, this is what it's all about. It's about winning. And it's not about solving problems. And once again, look, I'm sorry for the Southern drawl accent, but if I'm not mistaken, thanks to the very political climate that people like James Carville have created, it's perfectly okay for a Latino like me to make fun of white Southerners like him. At least for the time being. And the fact that he holds up someone like AOC as very bright. Perhaps when it comes to shameless, duplicitous doublespeak on social media, yeah, she might be a genius for that. But when it comes to solving actual problems, particularly economic problems, she's already proven herself to be quite dangerous. Especially with the Green New Deal and what she did with Amazon in New York City when New York City needed that, and the whole thing with the $3 billion tax rebate, that she does not seem to understand the basic math behind that. But whatever. I'm trying to be understanding, and I don't want to be too critical. So I would imagine that someone like AOC she's probably trying to help out poor people and the rent. There's better ways of doing it. There's better ways of doing it than trying to be the young Latina Mother Teresa, okay? You people are all so tone deaf to your own smug arrogance. People like James Carville, and particularly publications like Vox, They are not primarily interested in solving problems, let alone bringing people together. They care about money, and more importantly, it seems, they care about prestige and making sure everyone knows they're so much smarter and moral than the rest of the nation. And if you disagree with them, no matter how factually incorrect they may be, no matter how demonstrably false the narratives they may push, well, then you're just a racist idiot. And you're just another statistical bumpkin for them to pick and choose to decide if you're worth listening to on their way to winning the next election, which James Carville clearly explains in the article. I mean, for anybody who's interested in how the political sausage is made, like I said, read the article. But also, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for other videos that I'll be making. And especially if you're like me, like you want to see problems get solved. You genuinely want to see problems get solved because they're affecting your life. Okay, if you're one of those people like me, by all means, please help support my channel. And by all means, call me out in the comments down below. Let me know, what did I get wrong? You know, if you think that this shirt is kind of tacky, that's too bad. Like I have terrible taste in fashion, so that's just, you know, whatever. And please don't ask me to play the instruments in the background because I suck. I'm very mediocre. But most importantly, thanks for watching.